Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bulgaria here in the year 1353. We are in August. We're trying to improve relations with Wallachia, and we are trying to slowly continue to grow the country as we have had built up our road network a little bit. Not a great deal, right? But we do now have a road that can stretch from the highway that had been built to Constantinople previously, and then now it does reach into Tarnovo. Right, so most of our kingdom is now, at least the cities, right, are mostly connected. And that is kind of where we're going right now, is I do want to try to continue to develop that road network, right? So we can say, hey, all of our cities, or the majority of our cities, are connected. As we have Drastar here, 21,000, Kustenza, 7,300. Varna here on the coast has a population of 10,000, losing 7 food. So, it's not 100% yet, obviously. And of course, there's the din here, which is not connected. Is these part of the road? Yes. Right. So we do want to try to build roads. So this will be a road eventually, and then we do want a road coming out here. Is this a town? No. We do have more trade capacity. Well, okay, it's actually 0.53. So we make 5.54 ducats currently. We do have an army that is growing again, 7,222 levies, although it is just a levied army. Our youngest son, Ivan Austin Strutsimir Kenberry, we are King Ivan Alexander Strutsimir I. I'm now 52 years old. My eldest son just has daughters. So if I wanted to make my second son Ivan Strutsimir, who has 2 sons, so Ivan Alexander and Todor, and then he has Theodora. He's a 68, 38, and a 40. I don't see the option here to maybe have him become the new heir, right? We do have just 37% happiness from the nobility, 49% from the priesthood, which is losing negative 0.01. 53% happiness from the burghers at negative 0.26, and 53% happiness from the peasantry at negative 0.19. The Ottomans are continuing to consolidate Western Anatolia, which is, of course, very problematic and a concern. Right, we are at negative 27 food. Negative 27 food in Tarnovo. I mean, we have enough food in the province where it's not going to be a big issue, but still would obviously like that to be different. We are getting more and more exports. We can continue to trade our fine cloth to pest. Although it's now considered to be unprofitable, unfortunately. We have negative point. We have 0.81 on the Mongolian Patriots, negative 22%. We have 7.67% on the nobility insurgents, negative 18% monthly. Yet improving the opinion of the Wallachians and trying to build up a spy network against the Serbians. We were ranked 50th in the world right now. We have a population of 855,000 souls. So in this episode, not entirely sure what I'm going to do. I'll do a building, right? And we might do a reform as well. Although that will ultimately piss off everybody else as well. So there's that. We have 29 prestige, 90 legitimacy, and 35 stability. Sliman is still missing 74 workers. We have the Spinners Guild Tannery and a brewery are all unprofitable here. We can claim the throne against Epirus, and then we can claim a province against the Golden Horde until 1358. Which they have sand, clay, livestock, wool, and fish. But to be honest, I don't think we really want to push further that direction. I mean, not that more lands and more higher population and all that would not be a good thing. It would, of course, but the Dubrovnik market needs sturdy grades, 0.28 for one building, coal and Kaffa, 0.16. Technology-wise, we are at 44.46% on bills for the maximum RGO size of plus 10%. Then we have intensive agriculture, trying to get increased food by 10%, supply lines, Renaissance city planning, literacy, stability investment, literacy for burgers. Maritime trade advantage for merchant partnership. Church guidance. The scriptures are the word of God, but the church is able to interpret its correct meaning and can relate it to the flock. Any independent reading or interpretation of the scriptures outside the church guidance would only lead to be lost in falsehoods and on the path to heresy. We will add that to the research queue. So like ruse right now, right, we make 0.17 out of a possible 0.59. Shervid, we are missing a lot, right? 0.45 out of 1.60, which is out of our possibility. Now, a fiber crop farm actually could get us 0.13. We lose. We would add 0.13 to the tax base of this location, but we would lose a third of that due to the loss of control. So we'd get 0.6, essentially. Which again is why building in your capital, especially in the early game, is such a big bonus for the most part. Building another lumber mill would be a 0.29. We lose basically nothing. And yeah, we do have a tiny bit of dyes. I'm kind of have a lot of slaves. Where is lumber? Lumber. Where are you, lumber? It's pottery, leather. What is this? Copper. Okay. It's for livestock tools. Wine, clay. Where is lumber? Pottery. Mild. Up there it is. Plus 0.7. So really not much of anything. I do think also we have a ton of provinces, right? Uh, Parent Ismail Toplika, Bulgarian West Mutedia, South Oltedia, Bulgarian Vardar, right? A ton of provinces that are not integrated and not giving us much because of that. So I do think once he is done here with the Mongolian Patriots, we will start his process of integration. Because and also it does. That's why it doesn't really make much sense to expand. Although Ismail is a town of 3,700 people, so eventually we would want a road going up into Basarabia. It does not entirely make a lot of sense for us to. Why do we lose? We lose 0.23 for building maintenance. $2.42 taxes based on location. Uh, I expanded the lumber mill. Cost 51.49 ducats, 1,000 laborers. Now a tailor's guild would also make a lot of money, 0.81. Brewery would make 0.38. A scriptorium would make 0.15, which, presented more books. A royal garden, monthly prestige plus 0.02, diplomats plus 0.20, and then a royal court. 10% crowd power. So that actually would be good. Why the hell did we lost all of our money? Like we had 5.77. We're down to we do need to get the cost of court down. Fort maintenance we can't take down any lower. Well, cost of court we actually probably can't. We probably should increase. The court is the extended household of the ruler, including all those who regularly attend them. But the largest courts, and this number could grow to many thousands, comprised of camarilla, household staff, clergy, gentry, bodyguards, harem, concubines, eunuchs, and many more roles. All these people do not come for free, and this figure represents the cost of having them around. All right. I mean, there we go. We get up to 5.51, but I don't know why that just magically increased, but it did. I don't know if it magically increased, right? That's harsh, but at the same time, it just went up for some reason. And while it is frustrating for all of you, probably watching the episode where not a ton is happening, and it's frustrating for me not being able to put a lot of buildings down, I think it is a realistic playthrough. At least that's what I tell myself, right? Because we started out incredibly in debt, incredibly destitute, right? Flirting with going under, and we're just kind of starting to make our way back. Right? We're not there yet. I do want to build another lumber mill in Turnovo. And the reason for that is because while I could build another a die maker, right? As we have negative 0.32 dies, which we would actually need profit per level 2 dies. You need 0.5 lumber to 0.2. Now, if we went to a loom fix dies, you need 0.6 lumber to 0.3. A die workshop, 0.5 aluminum and 0.6. If we had a die works, which I don't think we have the technology for, you could get more and more. But again, you would need 2.6 lumber for that, and then you would need 6 lumber for die mills. Whereas dies, just producing dies ourselves here, I don't know. All right, what are we producing? Current employment's 3,000 out of 3,000. We have only 5,000 peasants available to promote. But it does require that lumber, right? Which we don't really have. Right, we have negative 0.5. I think up here, yep, we have lumber. Balance is 0.10. Okay, so now it's at 0.10. So confused. Output per level is 1.25. 33.51. And what is the potential profit is 0.46. We have plus 9.98 tools, so that's not a problem. And it is a rural RGO, so that should help in terms of the production. Per level, we produce 1.25. Okay, well, down here, per level, Building level is 1 out of 5. Production efficiency is 0.86. And we're producing 0.453 lumber. So we're really not producing lumber. So we are going to go here and build expand our forestry, our lumber gathering, whatever we want to call it. Which will take 132 days. As we just need tools, right? Axes or whatever we want to call them. Again, none of the trades for our population needs are profitable, unfortunately. Where are our okay, Trevin, where we don't have enough people? Do we have sturdy grains anywhere else? We have sturdy grains down here. And Slivid, so again, another city, unfortunately. Let's see, we have 44% control there, and we have okay, so we definitely have more control here. And we do already have irrigation built. Now we could build more irrigation. Population capacity would go up by 1,000, 5% increase on the food production. Output per level 1.25. We're getting basically 5 from each level, and we're missing 3. So I do think in the strength of faith and the matters of faith we are second to none. Our support for religion and the devotion we show impresses the people around us. They clear gain 10% of state satisfaction, and we gain 10 prestige. Nice. Oh, right. They are well and truly defeated. And he is now a degraded parent. The commoners' insurgents are now back. Despite the fact that they are 52% happy with me, they are back. Well, and actually, I was just thinking that I didn't plan this. I wish I could say that I did, but I did not. What is this? A library in Bucharest. You could say, right, by building the lumber there, and then we're going to build the sturdy grades here. You can make the case or the argument, right, that and then we would build the road, right, from Tarnovo to the northeast. And you could say, well, we're improving the road now to bring in the goods. All right, fruit. We also are missing a lot of I hate to say it, but because of these stupid people, we might have to take him and say, crack down on the rebels again. We can't call another Sinclet. %. All right, control. That is our capital. Promote castle works. Promote integration process. This we should support the efforts to integrate the remote provinces that are debated and consolidate them more closely to our core territory. Speed of integration goes up by 20%. Yes. 54% overall support for that issue. That obviously would be massive. I mean, not that we can afford to integrate anybody right now because we have so many damn rebels, but what is this? Sugar? Like, none of this we need. We have gold. We have silver. We have a little bit of sugar. Like, saffron we don't have. We could continue to trade fine cloth to people, but furs we have 7.83. To Kappa doesn't really give us anything. Alum. It seems that the Sinclair members of Suzzlepole have finally realized how beneficial the currently debated proposal would be to them if it passed. Their support is most welcome. We gained 5% support and 5 more prestige. What is this? Silk? We'll export silk to Pest. So, like, it's really not that I'm trying to be such a, tyrant here, but realistically, as we now have 7,400 men, our fort level is 13 out of 16. 7 point, what is this? Army tradition? Do we have army traditions at 10%? What? 10%. What is that in terms of? Is that going to take us down to 3? I mean, is that what that means? Tools Guild, then a bunch of tanneries are all unprofitable right now. So every 4 months we'll lose 1% here, so that's going to be a little bit over a year. Every 5 months there, so that'll be obviously longer because it's also at 6%. The nobility is now positive 1.26% in terms of, how much they're improving their opinion to be at the moment. about 23 days remaining on the expanding this forestry. So we're not actually going to get the forest, the input right away. Have to hire the workers. So we are in the age. Oh wait, this is the maximum RGO size plus 10%. The bills have been used since they were discovered in ancient times many centuries ago. However, we are now able to develop more modern and efficient wind and water bills for use in gathering raw materials. Okay. Still missing 296 workers in Glubosica, which is where we're producing our gold. Which we did take from the Serbians. Which now we're missing gold because I don't know, but we are. We are up to 861,000 people. And my hope would have been to start integrating provinces in this episode, but don't know if that's going to happen. We have more than enough fish, so we don't need to worry about that. In November, we will put down our sturdy grains. No, wait, no, maybe in October. Yeah, in October. And look, obviously the integration is going to help us down here because we're not getting anything, right, from these places. Right? I mean, this we are a little bit there, but like most of these territories we're not getting anything from. So that's where, although here we are a little bit, probably just because we're right next to the capital. And up here we're getting nothing, I would imagine, yeah. Well, in Tulsa we're getting a tiny, tiny bit. So that's where the integration is really going to help us. Once we eventually get there, which, I don't know when that'll be exactly, but parliamentary traditions, one of the more difficult things about being a parliamentary, it has less to do with the debates at Tarnovo, but more with how to sell the debates and compromises to the people back home. Still, a local CICLA member will often have an easier time explaining a new tax than would a collector set by the central government in less representative systems. It seems that the CICLA members in general, and the ones from Sozopol in particular, have become so adept at defending policies that we have seen a resulting rise in the support of the central government as a whole. They finally understand us. We gained 10% more support. And now we lose a lot more money because we're down to what the fuck. I mean, building maintenance, okay, did go up. I get that. Can we mint anymore? Nope, we can't mint without going into inflation because, you know, production and all that. So once we're able to produce more and more lumber, we'll be able to produce more fine fabric and we'll be able to produce more dyes. Like, for example, a die maker currently is not going to get us anything. No! No, God damn it. No! Yeah, you can see that's all I was trying to do was to find out what it could make. And this stupid thing is to try to make me build it. Man. So you can see that the die maker is just not going to make any money, which is a little bit wild to me, but it's where we're at. Somehow, what the hell are we demanding it? How, this is the one thing about how their economy works, even like Victoria 3, where we're producing more and somehow we're demanding more. I mean, I know we have more people now, so I guess it would go up, but it's just like at the same time, it's like, dude, we were even before. I'm producing more, so therefore we should have a surplus. But instead, it's like, nope, stays the same, which is wild, right? It's just wild. Apparently, we're at negative 0.2 lumber because reasons. I mean, I do get the fact that we're not completely all the way staffed, right? So I understand that aspect. Uh, I think we're also short on. No, we have enough dies apparently. Um, that sure. All right, so technically, we currently have enough die to expand the Tailor's Guild. Interesting. Okay, I think that's what we'll do then. As we continue to lose money, why? Why? We've lost like a decade of this episode, and I don't know why. Sure, the building maintenance, fine, right? Yeah, okay, this does cost money to hold that, fine. But, so I guess that's why, I suppose. Um, 0.54 now is all we would make from that. Or the expected profit per level here is 2.01. I mean, I feel like that this would make sense. Although we do already have the burgers, so I don't know. Right? I don't know. Um and I mean, again, you can see why we're not making money, right? Because we just have really low control. Our proximity is trash. Um we advance research the bills. RGO size goes up by 10%. What would it cost to build a bailiff? I don't care about the Bohemian independence movement. What does a wharf do? Trade capacity, harbor capacity. We could build ships. Okay. Can build a bridge. Movement costs negative 10%. Proximity costs negative 5. The integration of DevCrop, DOSPot, Krupnik, Botsko, and Melnik is increased by 20%. Bailiff. There it is. $152. Oh, we don't have enough dyes. We don't have enough lumber either. But we are gonna try to expand the dye making in Tarnovo, 196 days. Negative 0.3 lumber available. We need 0.1. Good news, we are marching towards being able to get rid of all these rebels. Negative 0.27 for each percent. 3.47%. So, and 4.5% for the nobility, which, considering they're almost at 50%, I really don't understand how that's still a thing, but it is. The other good news, of course, is that with Perrin, with that 20% increase in the integration, that should put us up to about 80%, I think. So we should be pretty close on that. So hopefully the next episode we'll be able to start there. Um, it would also need lumber apparently to expand the farm, so I don't want to necessarily do that. So we'll go down 3%. So 1356, we might be able to start integrating people. Temagori tells us about their actions. They have joined our religious center, which is nice. Obviously, like if we built more, we could potentially make more money. I understand that. I do understand that. Um, a lumber mill would make 0.17, 0.11 for fiber crops, 0.21 for carpentry, but again, that uses up wood. A brewery, 0.21. Also, apparently, for corn, but I don't for maize, but I don't think we have any of that. Do we? Got wheat, fruit. Yeah, no. Okay. Um, oh yeah, 1,000. We get 4 fruit per level. 0.51 is all the profit we would make. The 0.53 here. Interesting. And yeah, we don't have a lot of peasants available to promote 5,000 here in Tarnovo. Shrevin, we have 6,900. Up here in Drostar, we have 60. Okay, well, we have plenty of peasants here, 16,000 of them. Again, so the delay in building has two purposes, right? One, it allows me to stay around 100 ducats. Two, it gives me the ability, since I'm missing lumber still. Well, okay, we're even right now, I guess. Um, gives me the ability to minimize my deficiencies, right? At least that's what I tell myself. I don't know. Um, take a look here at the world. Lithuania is being occupied by Volhynia. Wow, interesting. Austria is being occupied by France. I mean, that's not super surprising. Looks like Castile is maybe pushed into Portugal a little bit. Navarre's gone, which is a shame. That'd be kind of. Who is this? Oh, it's just a little mountain. Okay. The Moroccan nobles. Okay. Guessing they have a civil war going on then. Yep, first Moroccan noble civil war. Milan is kind of larger. And of course, it's going to take longer to get rid of the Nogai Patriots because they're going to be, 13, 14% in strength. But we're also going to be able to, finally integrate, which is going to be good, right? That will definitely be good for us, I think. Um, disrupting trade, humiliate a rival, trade conflict. And that is the one thing where like everybody has a parliament, which is weird. Like that is something that I'm not entirely sure how that's working. Like how as a monarchy, not everybody had a parliament, right? Hungary doesn't look like it's really expanded much. I probably would expand as Hungary. Try to get Serbia, Bosnia, knowing that the Ottomans are probably coming at some point. I mean, as somebody who's kind of scared of Hungary, I'm not super mad that they're not expanding a lot, but that's what I would do. Um, I guess if Gilly Shmersky, they have joined us in Tarnovo as well. And I mean, building the market, maybe that would actually help the economy a lot. That's a possibility. I don't know what that would do for all the trades I've done, though, right? The Karasids, our commoners are deeply upset at the news that their freedom of movement is to be further restricted. Oh, dear God. They will lose 50% satisfaction. In fact, there have been massive revolts across our country because of this. Perhaps if they took the time to care for their personal hygiene, they would not be so revolting. Well, that's not good. The fact that they are now 50% satisfaction, negative 50% satisfaction. I mean, that is bad. Which, I mean, I get. And I know that, like, the different buildings can improve, like, peasant satisfaction and whatnot. So I do need to pay more attention to that. Um, that is undoubtedly true. So again, hopefully the production of dyes that we will try to produce some more sturdy grain because we have negative 2.78 of that. Yeah, I think we'll do that next and then the road, right? There we go. Like, I was confused for a second. It wasn't building. Um, yeah, I don't want inflation though. So, like, money is good. Inflation is not as good. Um, we now have plus point 10 lumber, which is nice. I think we'll go for an expanding the fruit. Um, and then in the future, we'll build an irrigation. But again, we are missing a lot of. That's an idea. Although that might kind of tax our ability to build. But I was thinking, okay, well, we build the fine cloth now that we've got more dyes coming in, that we could also try to build the fruit at the same time, and it would give us a bigger building project. Um, Again, like our lumber is up to 46, but we still are demanding more and more of it, which is fine in a way, but kind of cracks me up at the same time, as I've already mentioned. Somehow we have less dye now. We have negative 3.4 or oh 04. I don't really understand how that worked. We also are now only missing RGOs in Tutricon. Okay, wait. And we took a lot of workers from Ismail. Okay, I guess. Um, so then would we be making more dye? I'm so confused. I feel like that worked backwards. I feel like that did work backwards. Or we went to make more dye, but now we have a bigger deficit of dye. I don't know if that quite. Huh. I don't know if. Still missing dye, huh? But yet this would not make any money. Interesting. For as long as textile has been woven, there has been a market for fine dyes. During the late Middle Ages, expensive dyes such as indigo would be worth a fortune due to how distant the source in India was. As the world opened up, dyes became easier to get a hold of, both through the possibilities to produce them in America and the greater accessibility of the Indian market. Nonetheless, dyes remained rare in the early 19th century as the dye plantations in India fell into European hands. A veritable gold rush ensued. Theodora Stratsabir could have a better education. I mean, 2.03 profit per level. That is nice. And we're back to negative 3.12 dies. How? Who is, like, okay, never mind. Again, we have a big enough spy network here in Serbia. We're rivals with them, but we can't. Well, I definitely don't want friendly actions. Again, claiming the throne on Wallachia. The bond of marriage could not last forever. Take the capital of Budateria and install Anna Stratsabir as the ruler. She is 9 and our granddaughter. Do they have any allies? Byzantium, interesting. And Halych. Well, Adrianopolis is a city I would want to get. And they have dyes. Horses, livestock, okay, wine, wool, lumber, iron, wine, medicaments. And it might be worth it. Right? Like 5,000, 8,000, 60,000, 6,000, 10,000. I mean, they're not huge population centers, right? 13,000. But at the same time, as Shervin's we're gonna get our expanded sturdy grain farm here. At the same time, if we could prevent some of the Ottoman expansion, right? Sturdy grain, iron, clay. I mean, I don't think we're going to go to Greece as much, but like trying to take some of the, Orthodox Greeks territory would be nice. We are going to get intensive agriculture, 10% food increases food production. Religious war casts belli, join the battle cry of the Crusades. God wills it and crush the infidels. That'll come down into our research queue. Our agent was discovered in Serbia, unfortunately. We have 5,130 peasants available to promote in Tarnovo. Yeah, 0.74% on the cracking down on the commoners insurgents. Now, settlement gives us population growth plus 1%, migration attraction plus 1. Okay, like it doesn't really give me much beyond that, which is unfortunate. She is intelligent, so okay, we'll give her an administrative education. The state's machinations and political dealings can prove to be overwhelming for a prospective leader. To avoid inadequacy in statecraft, it'd be wise to focus on administrative education. Bogdan. So, like, Ivan's got 4 kids. He's got 4, and he has another daughter. Like, dude, I think Duke Michael is like incapable of having sons at this point. He's like Henry VIII, obsessed about having a son but cannot have a son. Um, the masonry does not have workers now in Chevron because I think we gave it all to our sturdy grain people. Um, which is at 17.15, 19.63 is the demand. Which is interesting, like how we just magically take the workers out of their buildings and put them in other ones. All right, so that is definitely improving there. The ties are just not getting better. I think we're going to maximize the resource gathering in Tarnovo. Um, we are up to 6 ducats currently, or ducats. Negative 1.57, yeah. That was not my intention to build another dye production, but we're short dyes. And if we're going to try to, build more fine fabric or anything else, we need dyes. Now, if we wanted to build a road, from Shervin to Roos, $74. That's just a little bit too on the nose for me. Um, we have almost 8,000 levies. Claiming the throne against Wallachia will expire in 1360. So we'll definitely go to war before that. Wow, holy crap, Austria is being occupied. Um, by France, which that part has been fairly consistent from the beginning of time, or the beginning of time. From the beginning, oh my God, Lithuania, how are you losing? Like, do they have a lot of allies or something? No, the Golden Horde is still their overlord. Interesting. Hurtful trade policies. The interests of private merchant households are being hurt by our repressive trade policies toward other countries. The burghers support these families and have now petitioned us to compensate them by at least easing some other restrictions on trade to compensate for their loss of income. 10% estate satisfaction. That's fine. Like, it didn't really tell me what exactly was going to happen as a result of that, if anything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the commoners will now be down to 0% once we get into February. Then we will wrap up. That'll be the last of the episode, and then we will. Okay, so we lost about 50 cents there. That's unfortunate, but okay. Um, and then we'll go down here to parent and start trying to integrate that. Um, in the next episode, the nobility will finally be dealt with, and then we'll go down here to the Nogai Patriots, who are at 13%. You can see they're not very literate, and they're all really angry because Sunnism's view of orthodoxy, -5%, tolerance of Sunnism, -20%, and the literacy of slaves, -2%. So you can see why they are so angry. It makes sense. Like, it does make sense. And then again, like, hopefully when we get down here and we're able to integrate pair, that'll hopefully help with like the food and just everything. Um, I don't know if it'll help the population. Like, are they not considered part of Bulgaria because they're not integrated? That'll be interesting. Um, well, I guess we could stop try. Yeah, we could stop trying to improve their opinion because we're gonna declare war on them. Um, try to improve. A defensive league, -106, -131 for a proposed royal marriage. Well, isn't he married? No, she died. Okay. Um, he's tolerant and he has loose lips, so counter espionage is not his strength. Um, he's our younger brother and then our son. Anju Maria, the younger daughter of the who is 17. Okay, yeah, -135. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna happen. All right, that makes sense. I was gonna say, holy crap, is that wait, can we go Pirlo to Poland? Uh they don't have anybody apparently. Okay, that's unfortunate. What is their opinion of me? Um so Poland does trust us more. Our diplomatic reputation did suffer, but Poland does trust us. Okay. So we're gonna go here. Integrated province. 43,000 people live down here. Perrin. You can see Vardar. Exactly at 6.8%. Ismail, 60,000. West Britannia, we can see right there. South Oltenia is over here. Teplika is over here. Yeah, so Parrot with its 43,000 people will definitely go there. So the good news for me, the way I play, right? Sorry, I do apologize for being so boring. Is we're making money. Not a lot of money, but we are making money. Sturdy grains are closer. Negative 6.47 on the fruit, so that's not good. Do we go there? 0.5 per level. I don't know. Cotton, wheat, wine, wool, lumber. Can do lumber down here. Although I don't know how well it's going to be supplied, right? What would a road 172.5? Okay. What would 178? That's 350. God. Um 143 and 304. Oh, because doesn't Liskovitz already have a road? Yes. Okay, well, what is 14,000 people? It would take 143 to just build a road. Take 143 to build a road from one province. Really interesting. All right. Sorry for taking so long this episode, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and I will talk to y'all later.